Just gotta send a few.
That's my shirt.
A few things into multiple servers.
I love this shirt, by the way. And part of it I didn't really realize is that now when people see it originally, I didn't really realize this was going to be part of it. But at first, when they read it, all you see is "Hey, hey, you bitch," because that's the big text on the top and bottom.
That's actually like.
It's like no. Read the actual shirt. It's good positivity.
You gotta read it all. Oh, there we go. I got the notification now. My phone
yeah, it takes a moment to notify.
Twitch. Yeah, but for some reason my phone won't load Twitch unless I click on like whenever someone's gone live.
Ah, it won't even load it from the actual app button?
Mm-mm.
Weird.
Yep.
Spreading the word throughout all of my places.
I got my I Fuck Cthulhu shirt and my mini dice roller. Soon, just like that back wall will just be like a portrait of Cthulhu. Like I'll just paint it
now. Now we gotta figure out and do a Call of Cthulhu one shot. It's kind of needed at this point.
That ends with you going.
I can come up with some cosmic horror.
We can go buy a Cthulhu Mini just so he's there.
Fuck yeah.
And the last one. Ooh, I like this one. I recognize it immediately.
Mm-hmm. It's my favorite one out of the bunch.
Do any of you play Among Us?
I do not.
I've dabbled slightly.
I play it a lot.
I've seen other people play it.
I play it a lot. It's a lot of fun for me. I've actually gained a reputation where like they're like, I don't have any clues, so I suspect Ant. That's
Ant is sus.
Yep. Ant is sus when no one else is sus.
Yeah, I just see a lot of TikToks about Among Us.
It's a lot of fun.
They're pretty funny, but
Yeah, because there was one girl that I see all the time who has Tourette's that plays Among Us, which is great. And then there's also like a lot of simping videos because Corpse plays he plays Among Us.
Oh yeah, I've seen Corpse play too.
Yeah.
I've watched a few YouTubers play live action Among Us where they're the characters.
VR
and they gotta
Among
try
Us?
to solve who killed each other. No, they themselves are the people, and they
live
walk
action.
around
Haven't seen that
jobs,
yet.
and they'll hand each other a "you're dead" card and walk away, and that person's got to lay on the ground and pretend to be dead, and wait till somebody notices them.
I love the ones where they name themselves me, I, she, they. That is hilarious. Them trying to communicate that.
Me kill.
Me was in this, but we was there too.
Me killed I.
That's one of those situations where I would just start saying the color.
Alright, I'm ready to play whenever you guys are. 7 o'clock.
All right.
Got a very late start.
We gotta
That's okay.
go a recap.
Yes. Recap on last session. They had just survived barely through dealing with some of the underground people that resided in Galespire, a group called the Black Lanterns, and they were in Black Lantern Lane, which is where a lot of shadier deals seem to happen. And they were dragged away and thrown in prison. Afris died, but then was brought back by someone. She wasn't really quite sure who, but someone that had the ability to do that. And after they were imprisoned and set in their cells, they were questioned by a woman, and then were brought in front of kind of like this council of members of the Black Lanterns, and they were questioned and then sentenced and told that they could either rot in their cells or do a job for them. They decided to do the job, and you guys have now started to get information on how to retrieve a ledger from the local guard evidence. And that is where you guys have kind of spent some time figuring out some information. Afris went and talked with one of the detectives about her missing friend Birdie, and Valerian has gone and talked about getting a guard position to try to get more information. And you guys have gathered that information, worked on some items that you wanted to create. Valerian, by this next day, you will be finishing up your arm blade mace with the dwarves. And yeah, so we'll say that we kind of catch up the next day in probably kind of the early afternoon after Valerian gets back from his finishing up the dwarves.
I did want to use
While
that
Valerian
night.
is,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I did want to use that night to like do another scouting to see what the night shift is like.
Mm-hmm. I can do that. What were you going to say, Everest?
oh, I was gonna say while Valerian is gone, I want to go try to make friends with that gnome family that runs the good restaurant that's vegetarian based. I just want to make friends.
So we'll go to the night first, since that was there. Are you wanting to go on by yourself midnight?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what time of night are you going to wait for?
I think around like 10ish, like late night, and like see if there's any guard changes between then and midnight. Name drop.
Okay. Okay. So you head out from the inn and you head out towards where the guard post is. If you're wanting to, you can roll me a stealth.
Okay, that is going to be, if I recall correctly. Yep, that's correct. That's an 18.
18. Okay. You feel pretty stealthy. You stay to the shadows. You stay out of sight of anyone else on the street, so you're not really seen walking in that direction. You see a few people moving here and there, like a drunk or a couple that's walking home from some event or whatever. And you get to the where the kind of the area where the guardhouse is, and how would you like to observe? Where would you like to observe from?
I don't have the grappling hook yet, so my main thoughts are on the roof to see if anyone moves around up there and stuff like that, because that's where I'm planning on going in, if possible.
Okay. So you wanting to get on top of a roof of like one of the neighboring houses?
Yeah.
Okay. Do a acrobatics check for me.
Ooh, that's a good roll. Acrobatics. That's a soft 20.
Okay. So yeah, you are easily able to find some handholds and some footholds. You kind of and get yourself up, kind of swing your leg up over the roof and kind of roll on, so you're not exposing yourself too much. And you find yourself on top of this roof. It's slightly slanted, but it's enough that you can actually lay and stay out of sight. You're not quite at the height of the actual prison because there's no houses that are around it that are higher than it, but you're able to see a little bit better And there's currently no guards on the roof from where you saw them last time. It seems empty up there.
So no guards
when
at
you
night
got
on the roof.
On the roof, yep. And when you got to the area itself, you did see at the moment, you said about like 10 o'clock-ish or so, and it took about 10 minutes to get here. There are 2 guards still standing out front of the building itself. And you can see some lights on still inside through the windows that you can see.
All right. And I pay attention to pretty much every entrance and like guard route for the next couple hours.
Okay, so you're just going to stake out for a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
Not such a great roll. So that's going to be a 6.
Okay. You kind of find...
I do have 120 feet of dark vision, though, so...
Mm-hmm. You kind of... you're sitting there kind of staking out a little bit, and you realize about partway through the night that you... partway through that, like, waiting period that might not be in the best vantage point. And you realize you can't really see the front door very well. And if you want, you can try to move to a better vantage point.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea.
Roll another stealth for me.
Uh, 19.
Okay. You can move around and get to a little bit better of a spot where you can see the front door. And as you are getting there, you're just like dipping down on top of another roof. As you see the door open up and a man steps out, kind of like waving at the guards that are out front. And that you there's a little bit of a conversation that starts to happen between them. You can roll another perception for me if you want to try to listen in.
That is a good roll. That's a total of 18.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of tilt your head towards the group, and you hear the man talking with one of the guards, and he's like, "Yeah, I should be the last one out. I don't think I'll need anything for the rest of the night. Have a good night, fellas." And he heads out from there. And he's kind of got a scruffy beard, short cropped hair. And by his description that you had gotten previously from Afris, this looks like the detective that Afris talked to, Detective Drezik.
I'm sorry, what was his name?
Detective Drezik. And you see him head out of the guardhouse and kind of go south into the city. And the 2 guards at the front door then. One goes inside, and you can see by a couple of the lights shining out from the building interior, they get turned off. And then that guard comes out, and they wait there for about another 20 minutes, and 2 more guards show up from away from, like, coming from in the city, and they come and relieve the 2 from duty, and then they go home. And so those 2 guards take place. They kind of do, and they start doing kind of like a perimeter patrol around the guardhouse itself, sticking in. You can kind of time it as you see them walking around. That they kind of go on opposite ends of themselves, so they're going around, and you've got about, when they're kind of like on the opposite sides of the building, you've got maybe a minute or 2 at best before one comes around, and they meet up every 20 minutes or so just to make sure that they're both good and that they didn't notice anything. And you also notice that they have these kind of like dangling. You've also noticed in other guards as well, but these specifically, you do notice that they have these kind of like ropes around their necks that end in what you're guessing is like a whistle of some kind. So if there's any kind of disturbance, they can blow that really quickly, and the other will come.
All right, that's good information. I'm going to...
It's, by the time you see all of that, it's probably close to 1-2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. So around 1-ish, 2-ish is the best time. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and head home after noticing this.
Make another stealth check for me.
Not home, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, that's going to be a 12.
12. Okay. Let me check.
I would try to drop down in an alleyway or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I gotta look up something real quick. I apologize. Looking up something about because okay. Yeah, so you are just able to, you kind of, you are up on the roof and you go to drop down into an alleyway, and as you're dropping, you just notice that there was, was a kind of like a trash can that was there. It's really dark colored, and you almost didn't notice it. And as you land, your arm kind of hits it, and it starts to tip over, and you're just able to grab it before it hits the ground, and you tip it back up, and you kind of like peek out, and the guard walks past, looks like he doesn't hear anything, and then you head off from there.
Master of Stealth.
And you head back to the inn, and you go inside and go to bed.
Yeah, assuming no one's awake. Well, Valerian will probably be awake-ish, but yeah,
I mean,
I'm gonna
look awake, but I'm not.
I'm gonna need sleep at this point.
Yeah, you walk in the room, and he's standing there all creepy like he usually does.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to bed and look like you're dead. So you're both really weird.
I'm the only normal one, and I sleep the weirdest.
You're not really normal.
I'm the only one that doesn't look dead.
Anyway, what was that, Valerian?
Before I pass out, I'm gonna ritually alarm everybody's rooms just to be safe.
Okay. So yeah, then when do you have it so midnight doesn't trigger it?
Yeah, midnight's allowed.
Okay. So, but you would notice her come back pretty late in the night.
I'm gonna do like the 2-finger salute to him as I climb in bed.
And then the next day comes, and Valerian, you head off to the dwarves, and Afris, you head off to find the family of gnomes. You head back to the restaurant.
The grandparents.
Yep, and it's a small little building that you've been to before. You're able to you take up a good portion. They've kind of like moved some of the tables to make it fit for you, but they're very accommodating, and they're very happy to see you back again. And the wife who is taking your order comes over saying, "Welcome back! I'm so glad you came back. You enjoyed our food that much." And the husband's kind of back behind the bar, saying, "Don't bother. If she wants food, I can just make it for her."
I love him. Okay.
And
I needed this kind of positive interaction. You know?
She looks at him and goes like, "Shush, shush, shush. So how are
my
you?
best friend is missing, and I met God, like, my mind."
Well, that's fascinating. Your friend's missing. From where?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to her?
We think she was taken by exotic animal people.
No.
So we're looking for her.
That's horrible. Well, if
It
we hear anything or see anything, definitely let you know.
Oh,
We don't
thank
get
you
too
so
much traffic
much.
through here, and we try not to associate with less reputable sorts. So it's we don't get too
That's
much
good
of that
to-
in here.
And then I'll order. And then I'll just keep up conversation.
They
While
tell
they're
you about how
busy.
they moved to Galespire because they wanted to kind of live a simpler life, live in a smaller town. They used to actually live in Sharns, where her and her husband met many years ago, hundreds of years ago. Back when they kind of tell you about how like Sharn wasn't as big as it is nowadays. How like they saw the constructions of the higher city and blah blah blah, and they kind of like go into more details on that. And but that they moved here after their kids went out on their own, and they opened this shop up and have been here for the past 15 years. And they don't get too many customers, but they get enough to get by, and they have their own savings put away. And she sits down like with her tablecloth, like her washcloth over her shoulder, chatting away. And
Love it.
the husband comes over about 15 minutes or so later, and he has her dishes and he puts them out, and then he sits down. He doesn't talk as much, but he kind of like puts in little comments here and there while she's talking about like, no, that's not how that happened, blah blah blah, and he starts going into his own version of it.
It's the kind of wholesome interaction I needed.
They're very sweet and very kind, and they offer you on the house a free vegetarian dessert, and it is quite delicious. It is like it's kind of like a pie, but it's got all vegetarian features to it, and it's quite delicious.
Nice.
And they introduce themselves as Eleanor and Edward Rockfellow.
Eleanor and what? Sorry.
Edward Rockfellow.
Nice.
Valerian, you go and head off to the dwarves. They're bright and early, just like you are, getting set up to finish up your arm blade, and they have to kind of like take your arm a little bit apart to get it to work. And you're having to get the guide down, and it's interesting because like you're a robot of some kind, being a warforged, but it's so strange, and there's this odd feeling that arm you're looking at as they're opening it up and like moving wires and moving, just like connecting stuff and putting in the slot and kind of like folding in the mace and everything. That arm just doesn't feel like yours. Like it's a weird kind of like disconnect as it's happening, because you can feel it, you can feel pain and whatnot, but it's like it's someone else feeling it. It's kind of odd. But you finish up after a few hours. What was that?
Yep. I'll just kind of like put it in the back of my mind and try not to focus on the odd sensation.
Okay. And you finish up after a few hours, and you're able to basically kind of it's a wrist movement, and with your thumb in kind of a certain position, that when you kind of go out, it just goes like out of your arm, and it kind of then it's like this kind of pole that comes out and then folds outward into the spikes.
Cool. Now I cannot be disarmed.
Yep. Where are you going to go after that?
I'll head back to the inn and work more on Midnight's bag until everybody else is ready to come up with some sort of plan.
Okay. As Aphris, as you are heading back towards the inn, you hear something as you're passing an alley. You hear a, "Are you Aphris?" You kind of like you turn to look down the alleyway, and there's kind of this weird like shimmer that's off to one of the corners of the alleyway. And
Hey girl, what's up?
you kind of call out, feeling a little odd as you don't really see anyone down there. Then you see this, you see the shimmer again, but no response yet.
I guess I'll go towards it.
Okay.
This seems really dumb, but here I go.
You carefully walk into the alleyway, and you get a little closer, and the shimmer seems to kind of coalesce, and it looks kind of like a young girl. It's very hard to tell. It's very blurry, and you hear again this very kind of like echoey voice. Are you Paris?
Yeah, I am. Who are you?
I have come to... And it kind of like shimmers away for a second and then comes back a little bit more and give a message from Birdie.
Oh my god, what? That's what she says. Very... Okay.
I just imagine she tries to grab it by the collar but can't.
It kind of like shimmers out again a little bit, and it's kind of frustrating because like, oh shit, is it gone? And then it like comes back again as it is like solidifying. And
is she okay?
Is alive.
Well, that's good to know.
She wanted you to know the person that took her. And kind of like shimmers away again for a moment, and you're like sitting there for a minute, like, oh god damn it, where fuck? And then it
in circles, back. Like just I'm like pacing. I'm like, oh my god.
And she kind of like solidifies back and say, red-headed elf woman. She needs your help.
Oh my god.
Did he just say the redhead needs help?
I think her.
Birdie needs her help.
Some sort of mobile. Something that rattled and moved for long periods. And like fades out, fades back in a moment later. She is somewhere dark, surrounded by cages.
Oh.
She called to me and told me to find you.
Who are you? And also, do you know where she is? Like, place?
I do not. I apologize. Moving through this world is confusing. People are beacons to me. Their life force. Hers was very strong and very connected.
But,
and she described
be safe and don't do it with electric people.
But I do not know where she is.
And who are you?
My name is Emily. I died many years ago and have wandered aimlessly. Just kind of like drifts away for a moment, just kind of like staring off into the distance, and then kind of like slowly comes back. I cannot stay for long. I feel my essence fading for now. Your friend needs you.
Yeah, thanks. That didn't make me feel worse at all. Thanks, though.
She slowly and the shimmer kind of slowly fades away.
Love you.
You wait there for a couple of minutes. It doesn't seem to come back.
I felt that. That's why I said I love her. I mean, she made me feel worse, but I still appreciate it. Emily. Emily.
What would you like to do
Beat
now,
up this
Afro?
redheaded bitch on the council. I know it's a dumb thing to do. What does Afris? Is
What is
thinking
Afro's gonna do right now? Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Okay. She's gonna start making her way back to
Okay.
the hotel place because she doesn't know where the redhead is right now.
Okay. So you're back to the inn, and you end up meeting up with Valerian at the very least, sitting there in his room, kind of working on the bag a little bit more. Midnight, what are you doing this day?
First things first, when I wake up this morning, I'm going to use my, what was it called? My Whispers of the Dead feature to change my special tool proficiency to perception. Tool or skill proficiency to perception. Which didn't do much, but it should help me out for later.
Okay.
Alright. When did they say the grappling hook would be done by?
Today?
Just today? They didn't give an actual time?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm probably going to go ahead and grab that if they're done with that.
Yeah. You head out there, and he presents it to you, and it's that same redheaded, kind of younger-looking man. And as you walk in, he has like a large sack that has a bunch of like protruding blades and whatnot as he's moving. And he's like, "Oh, I'll be right with you." And he kind of moves off, and you hear, "Shit, whatever." He comes back, and he's like, "Yes, you." He's like, yes, you, the grappling hook, right? Right?
Yes.
Yeah, let me go get that. And he goes and grabs that, and he's got the, he kind of brings it out, and it's a kind of a nice, solid clawed type of piece of metal, and it's got a nice loop at the end of it where you can tie rope to it. And he's like, I've got this. Do you need rope for it, or you got your own?
I have rope, but thank you.
Yeah, sure. He kind of clanks it down on the table. You're already paid, so you're good to go. Anything else we can do for you?
No, thank you. I'm going to give it a couple of tugs
Nah.
on the prong to see how strong it is.
It's decently strong. I mean, you make a strength check if you want.
I mean, I don't want to break it.
Roll that natural 20 and just clink. Oh, shit.
Also, I'm not that strong, so that's going to be a 4.
Nah, you're like,
Seems
seems
really
solid.
strong.
Seems like metal. But yeah, you look at it, it looks like it's nicely forged and was tempered and hammered into the correct shape. It looks like it'll work pretty well.
Alright, I'm going to add that to my equipment. I don't know if that's an actual item in these or not, but I'm going to add it anyway.
It is not. What I did when I did it for
is?
a different character, I just took the rope. I just took the rope and just added rope with grappling hook as a edited name.
Yeah, they must have added it then, because I just found one in here.
Grappling hook is an actual item. It's just the hook.
Yeah, I have the
You have
rope
to
already,
attach the
so
rope.
we're good on that. 50 feet of it.
All right.
When I get back to the hotel, I see Valerian, true, but I go back to my own room, and I'm just gonna sob for a little bit.
Okay.
I just need a good cry.
So
Too much happened.
Valerian,
I'm
you probably would hear this. You hear the. She's not very subtle in like when she comes in because she's a giant giraffe centaur. So you hear the clop 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 up the stairs and then into the room, and then you start hearing just bawling from
I'm
the
gonna
other room next to you.
dramatically, even though nobody can see me, I'm gonna like lay my body part like on the ground, but then I'm gonna have like my top half like onto the bed, there's like a pillow over my head and just like sobbing into it.
Dramatic.
So it's a really
girl style.
uncomfortable position. Yeah, I mean I'm like 20, so it's close enough.
Or should I say Disney princess style?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Except
just
with
can't
the-
fit on the bed.
I can't.
Except
But yes,
they're
you would
leaning
easily
down
do this,
instead of up.
Valerian, as you're working on your bag.
I'm just gonna kind of like note it, and then I don't know how to talk to women about their feelings, so I'm just gonna keep working on that bag.
He's just sitting there, like, kind of working. He hears this, goes, just trying to tune it out.
You start humming I fucked Cthulhu.
He starts working harder and
This
louder.
Tone it out.
This is that situation where if I had a radio, I would turn it up just a little bit.
Alright. So yeah, that goes on for a little bit. I'm
And-
guessing you eventually collect yourself.
Crying,
I do. I just
crying's a
need to
natural
let it out.
response.
Crying's what?
So crying's a natural response to trauma, but it's distracting, so you gotta drown it out a little bit.
But yeah, I do calm myself down. I need to cry.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then you once you do, eventually, is there anything else you wanted to do midnight?
That is all I can think of doing in preparation.
Okay. So you guys meet up probably around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Once everyone's done with everything that they were doing, and you guys all meet up back up at the end.
Yep.
What would you like to do from here?
We gotta plan a heist, bitches.
So I'd say around 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. That's probably our window to get in there. Given everything that that
Do we want to go in as a group, or just send you in? Afris and I are kind of loud.
I'm not sneaky.
it might be
Never been quiet in my life.
easier if I go in myself. That said, if there's a distraction you can make that won't be against the law or something, that would also help.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I had this idea last week. I haven't thought about it at all.
Afris, we don't
But-
want you looking bad when they're trying to find Birdie.
No,
And
no.
Valerian,
Here's
you're
my
trying to
idea,
get in.
right? Valerian, you disguise yourself.
I
You
can do
disguise
that.
your cannon as a gun again, and then you shoot me. And then I scream, I'm like, oh my god, I got shot! And then I flail around dramatically. Don't tell me the disguise though, so it's a surprise.
That's fine and
then
dandy, but
You run off.
Afris is also a really good crier. That'll get someone's attention.
Wow, just call me out like that, bitch.
A good crier?
That's what I said. I will cry if you shoot me. I can do it.
Midnight's
heard it
like,
through the
can I
walls
insight
earlier.
check that phrase, that statement?
Go for it.
Well, that was a shitty roll. That's a natural one.
I've never cried in my life.
So
Wow.
Fuck off.
Can't really
apparently,
tell. She seems really angry right now.
Afris must have told him something that she didn't want me to know. Midnight just shrugs it off.
I say you disguise yourself as the red-headed lady, and you shoot me. And then we have a twofer. You've shot me, and then they see the red-headed lady.
That is one possibility, yes. But I'd rather not potentially, get myself in another situation like that.
I talked to a ghost today.
Is that why you were crying?
Again, I've never cried in my life. Okay, I don't even know what you're talking about at this point.
A ghost?
Yeah, a ghost. Her name was Emily. And Birdie sent her and said that a red-headed bitch is the one that took her, She was in some kind of moving vehicle for some time. There's rattling. And now she's in a dark place with a bunch of cages around her. We need to find her before she's not alive anymore.
Well, if we quickly do this, then maybe we can use the resources of the underground.
I mean, that redheaded bitch is part of the underground.
True. Alright, well, that's basically my plan right now.
Being an artificer, Scott, how hard would it be for me to make a bomb?
Not too hard if you had the materials. The problem is finding black powder. It's not something that's readily available to anyone. You'd have to find a seller that you're not sure if there's anyone in town that might be selling it.
Is there any way that I could make one using chemical explosion rather than powder?
Possibly, but explosions of the bombs of that nature are not really new as of yet. So it would be a little bit of a kind of a working process to make sure you get the mixtures right.
I'm going to go. I want to go talk to that guy who's watching our elephant.
Okay.
And
the
see if he
gnome
has
farmer.
any. Yeah, and see if he has any sort of fuel type substance that he uses to power his machines, and see if I can't use that as a base for some sort of thing.
You going by yourself, or is anyone else joining you?
Pet Bubba and feed him.
We do
While
have
you're
the
there.
oil that I gave Afris.
Have I?
Oil is flammable, not combustible.
Yeah, but fire might call someone.
We could make
Yeah,
Molotov cocktails. We
Have,
could be like
have I-
Jason in The Good Place. You know? When you throw a Molotov cocktail, you always have a different problem than the one you started with.
I love that fucking show so much.
Let's not be too destructive, okay?
Just a good distraction that'll take a lot of people's attention at once.
I feel like shooting me is still on. I feel like it's still a good plan.
But then I have to run away from you.
Yeah, but then you can just undo your disguise and then you're fine. You're someone
I can
else.
set a bear trap and you can sit in it.
Sit in it?
Step in it. Sit in it if you want to. Catch your tail in it. Either or.
I mean, I guess. I feel like that's a little suspicious. There's just a bear trap in the middle of town.
It's better than me running away from the law.
I mean, I guess, but again, you're disguised.
Again,
I mean-
I'm very loud.
To be fair, that's how I handle
true,
when
that's
I
true.
get caught. That's why I always have that disguise.
You shoot yourself? Oh.
No,
No, you
I
disguise.
I drop the disguise. I find a place to hide, and then I drop the disguise. There's a reason I don't have I don't show my tiefling horn. That's just obvious.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright.
Notes
so,
for the DM.
Yeah, noted. Is anyone
Does
going to go
anybody-
with Valerian?
What are we paying this guy a day to watch our elephant?
Oh yeah, we need to feed. It's a gold, isn't
Well,
it?
I'll go with him so I can harvest food for his bowl.
Oh, I think he had it at like
He is?
You paid for like a week already.
Okay. Alright.
I think
Because
we
I
paid,
only
like,
have
5
4.
gold to him.
Yeah.
And then I gave him a gold last time I was there, which was like yesterday.
So yeah, he doesn't need no money. I'll just go check in on it.
I'll go
Alright.
too, and I'll find food for Bubba so he can have some variety in his diet.
All right.
Oh, hey, Scott.
Hmm.
I just bought us the last 2 Vexalia pops.
Nice.
Nice. Very nice. Those are cool. Which ones? There's 2 of them.
Not the witch one, her other outfit.
Oh, that, okay. Yeah, you head out from the inn. Are you going with them midnight, or are you going to do something else?
Where are we going? Sorry.
They are going to go
To
see
the
Bubba and talk to the gnome farmer.
Sure, I'll go with them.
Okay.
Uh,
You guys.
once we get out of the town area, because he lives on the outskirts of town, doesn't he?
Outside of the wall, yeah.
Once we're outside of the wall, I'll look at Midnight and tell her, or ask her if she wants to see something neat.
Sure.
I pull my sleeve up, and all you see is this like quick flash of moment, and this mace flies out of my arm, and it's in my hand.
Nice. That should come in handy soon.
And then I kind of like dismiss it, and it goes back into my hand. I'm like, this way, if we get caught, I can't be disarmed.
That's a very handy trick. You're nice to have
It
around,
helps
you know
to
that?
be. Thank you. I appreciate that.
As you guys are heading in that direction, you get to the farm and you kind of pass by some of the crops and you see some of the familiar devices that he has kind of laying out in the fields. And you get to the house and you see the farmer standing there on his porch, and he's talking to another person about the same height as him, a little shorter. But you actually recognize the person from the back. You actually recognize the long sword that's across his back as that halfling that was talking to you, and you see them talking with each other. They notice you guys as you guys come up, and the halfling kind of sits with his back against the wall as he stops talking once you guys get within earshot, and the gnome farmer kind of turns towards you. Says, "Oh, you looking for your elephant? It's over there." And he points over towards the farmhouse with the doors open, and you see Bubba's kind of just like wandering around, just kind of like grabbing random things with his trunk. If he finds like hay or food, he kind of just puts it in his mouth.
I will go that way and say hi to him.
Yeah, I will also nonchalantly just kind of like stare at them as I pass, and then go visit the elephant.
The halfling, he's got his arms crossed, and he's just sitting there, and he kind of like does that like head nod towards you. Doesn't say anything, but he's just kind of knowingly nods towards you.
Which halfling is this again?
This is the
one
halfling
that was
The
talking.
Black Lantern one.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear because everyone was talking over each other.
It was the halfling that guided you guys away from the. He was sitting next to the redhead.
Right.
She was talking to him, and he guided you away.
He's just here making sure we don't leave town, right?
Not sure. He doesn't say anything at the moment. He just kind of.
That's what my assumption is. We're just here.
Yeah. So yeah, Aphris. Sorry, one.
No, go ahead.
Aphris and Valerian kind of walk past towards Bubba. And Bubba sees you two and recognizes you guys, and kind of like slowly goes over, and he kind of like brings his trunk up and kind of greets you both, and seems to be healthy and happy. He just seems to be wandering around, exploring.
Is there any sort of like water trough or anything like that?
There's one in the barn itself.
Is there any sort of like sponges or anything in there?
Make an investigation check.
Skill. That's gonna be a 19 plus 6 for 25.
Right. You find something that is absorbent enough, not necessarily a sponge, but something that's absorbent.
It'll work. I'll use that and kind of like call Bubba over toward the water trough, and I'll soak up some water with that, and I'll start to kind of like scrub off some of the dirt on his underside and just kind of groom him a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. As you're doing that, he kind of gets the idea of what you're doing, and he actually puts his trunk in the water, gets some water, and then just kind of sprays it along his back.
I'll help out with the cleaning.
Alright. Afris, what about you?
I'll just go foraging for us both. Since
Okay.
I know where everything is around here now.
Yeah. As you are doing that, and you guys can kind of notice this as well as you guys are cleaning Bubba, that as you guys have gone over to the barn and start going foraging, the halfling continues to talk in a lowered voice to the farmer. You hear the farmer's voice kind of get raised every once in a while. It's like, I paid you. Fine. Fine. The halfling never changes his demeanor. He's just calmly kind of looks like he's talking in a low tone, and
Okay.
gets done, and he starts to then walk off back towards town, and then the default mob.
Well, he's walking away.
Yeah.
He doesn't see me.
No, he's walking away. He does glance at you guys as he leaves, and kind of like gives you kind of a side glance, and then heads back to town.
Midnight's pretending she didn't hear anything.
The farmer comes over to you guys as you guys are finishing up cleaning Bubba, and you get coming back with the food after us. And looks like he's still doing pretty good. And he's still got a few days left on that the amount you paid me. You paid me a little bit early yesterday, so anything you need.
I was actually wondering, what do you use to power the machines for your crops?
Well, there's some. I have actually. You kind of like look side to side. Do you work for anyone in town?
Nope.
Do I work for anyone in town?
Yeah.
No.
You said you're not from here, correct?
No, we're from
No,
out
we're
of
just
town.
passing through.
Well, I tend to have a surplus of crop, and I found through some experimenting of my own that the corn can actually be used as fuel. It's a little hard to process, but it can be used. I'm still in the earlier stages, but it's what I'm trying at the moment, because normal crude oil is a little hard and expensive to come by in some situations. That's what usually runs my machines. Why do you ask?
This motherfucker's making ethanol.
Yep.
I was wondering if I could maybe acquire some from you for machines that I create myself.
You know, I don't have a lot left. I just have enough because I need to run the machine once I get it fixed, of course, that does the harvesting for me.
How about this? I'll fix your machine and trade for some oil.
Roll a persuasion for me.
Dun, dun, dun. I should have guidance myself, but I didn't. Persuade. +1. 17.
Huh? Well, if you can figure it out and fix it, sure, I can give you some.
Alright, well, take me to the one that needs fixing and I will do my best. I'm quite good at tinkering, you know.
He leads you off towards this large machine. I mean, he has kind of this like little cockpit section on top of it where he's able to control it. But it stands about a good 8 feet up, and it's got a wide, big turning section at the front with a bunch of blades, and it has kind of a compartment area in the middle and in the back of it where it seems to kind of collect the debris that it shreds and then moves into, and then collects it in the back where he's able to store it and move it around. And he kind of like scratches his chin a little bit. Just, I don't know exactly what's wrong with it. It stopped working about a week ago. I needed to get it done. The crop's ready to get harvested in the next few days, and it's been frustrating the hell out of me. And kind of pulls you over and kind of opens up the back latch, and he shows you some of the connections and whatnot that he has in the engine where he's built. It's a little haphazard, and kind of like there's stuff that's like taped together and patched in, and very roughly like soldered in, and it's a rough patchwork, but he's made it work. You can, if you would like to, figure out first how it works, to roll a investigation check.
All right. Can I guidance myself?
Yes.
Investigation +6. 23.
Okay. You take about, even though it's a decent roll, it still takes you about a good half hour to 45 minutes to actually get down exactly how this thing works and all its mechanics as far as you can understand it. But once you do, you get a good idea, and you get an idea of what it's going to take to possibly fix this thing after kind of talking with him, having him explain some things, figuring out your own ideas, and you figure it'll probably take you a couple hours to fix this, but you feel like you can if you have the right tools and he has the right stuff, and he assures you he does, but you'll see as he brings you what he can. What about
luckily I have would my own tinker tools be sufficient?
They'd be sufficient to work on it, but it does need like specific parts to make sure that everything works properly. But he assures you he has them.
Okay, yeah, if he's willing to provide the parts, I will provide the labor. And pretty positive that I can get this thing functioning.
Yep. Essentially what the problem is there's a problem with how the engine itself is like fixed in the machine, and so whenever he's been running it, it's like vibrating because it's not setting correctly, and so that's causing the engine to run and sputter and then stall. And then there's also a few lines that aren't fully patched correctly, and so there's a lot of leaking and whatnot. So that's a lot of the kind of stuff you're going to have to work on. After some midnight, you get done with Bubba about 10 or 20 minutes in, and you can still see Valerian talking with the gnome farmer over by the machine. You guys going to do anything, or are you going to wait around?
I'll go see if he needs any help.
Okay. You head over. Make an intelligence check after you start listening to them chit chat about the machine.
Well, that's not going to be good. That is a total of 5.
It's all over your head. Like, you're a pretty smart person in your from your understanding, but like this like technical stuff with engines and combustion and fuel and whatnot is just like over your head. Afris, what about you?
I guess while they're working on it, I will just chill next to Bubba and think about things.
Okay. And yeah,
Guys are clear.
Yeah, skies are clear at the moment. There's a few white clouds, and if you guys don't want to necessarily do anything else, a few hours pass by, and by the time that gets done, the sun is starting to set, and there's kind of these nice, beautiful orange rays kind of flooding the sky, turning what clouds there are these bright orange and yellow and reds, and it's actually it's a beautiful scene looking out over the countryside and the farm as the day comes to an end, and Valerian finishes finally after a couple hours of work. Comes out of slams the door, the compartment shut in the back, and he's full of grease and muck and grime and whatnot. Kind of wipes his hand on a cloth that he has. Tells the gnome to
That's a 29 guidance tinker check. If you want to know how well I fixed it.
You can. You call up to the gnome, who's kind of he's sitting in the cockpit at this point, and he's kind of like his head's lolling back. Yeah. You kind of call it to his what? Oh, start it. Yeah, sure. He kind of reaches down and he grabs kind of like a switch and pulls it, and then puts in this this kind of ignition key, starts it up, and the thing, and it continues to run, and it seems to be working. And you see him kind of like pull some levers and some cranks, and the front spokes are see these long curved blades that are kind of run along this big tube section at the front, and cylinder section at the front, and it starts actually moving forward, and you hear him like, yeah, it works, yeah. And you seem to have got it to fix, and so he stops it and pulls it, and you hear the engine. He gets off, kind of jumps his way down. There's like a set of like little steps that he's made in the side of the machine where you can get down. He runs over and grabs your hand and shakes it vigorously. Thank you. Of course. Please come back to the back of the house. That's where I keep it. And he kind of pulls you that way towards the house. You go around back, and he's got a what looks like a storm shelter door. He goes over and kind of puts a key into the lock, opens it up, kind of goes down, and then he starts to go down and then pops back up. He's like, come on. And he goes back down.
I'll follow him. I'll crouch real low.
And it's a little bit of a tight squeeze. At first, you're not really sure if you might be able to get down there. You're not sure if you're able to get back up, though. I think your mic's weird.
Is it working now?
Yeah, it's working now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't go down there.
I'm going down.
Midnight and Valerian, you head down into the basement with the gnome, and he's got shelves full of all sorts of things, from tools to jars of weird-looking liquid to large barrels that are sitting around, and most of them are closed. One is open, and you see a large amount of large screws and bolts and like rings and whatnot that are kind of sitting inside this barrel. He pulls you over to a large metal canister that kind of sits in the corner, and it's got this nozzle that sits out the side of it. And he grabs a smaller canister and puts it underneath, and kind of says, do you mind? He looks at Valerian and you. He's, do you mind helping me here? And he tells you basically to grab the side of it and kind of tip it a little bit as he pulls the lever on the faucet thing that's kind of sticking out of it, and this kind of dark flowing liquid comes pouring out into it, and you kind of have to like tip and like shake it a little bit. So you can definitely tell this canister is really empty. But you get a canister about this, so about 5 gallons of the liquid.
Cool.
That's a pretty good amount.
And he hands it off. He kind of like and kind of hands it to Valerian. He's like, there you go. I'm gonna have to go buy some more myself, but maybe the trader should be in town at some point in the next few days, just in time for harvest.
Now, you said this is made from corn.
No, not this stuff. That's my stuff. I'm still experimenting with that. It's a little hard to process, so I don't have much of it. But this is normal crude oil.
Okay. Do you mind if I get your notes on how you turn the corn into fuel?
Yes, I do kind of mind. It is my own invention, and I'd like to keep it that way for now. I appreciate your curiosity, but it's gonna be what I do to really make my name and my money. So I kind of want to keep it to myself.
Valerian kind of turns his head, and he's like, "What if I could help you further it along, but still keep the patent in your name.
Kind of looks at you a little suspiciously. Why would you want to give up profits on something that you worked on?
Because what I can use the fuel for can bring me more profit. I could create machines that run on this fuel and profit from them. And we could be business partners of sorts. You create the fuel, I create the machines.
Roll a persuasion.
We could start 16.
16.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely know what you're doing with machinery. You can definitely tell that. Well, I can write down and see what I give you what I have so far. Not quite the process of making it, but enough that you might be able to possibly make some machines that might run off of it. We can test it then and see where we can go from there.
I will work on this formula, and I will send you a letter when I feel like I have something that is more functional.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and I hope we get to get this business going. I'd love to make a little bit more money and not have to farm. I kind of hate it. The only reason I do it is because I get to. It's the only way my wife lets me work on my machines. But if I was making more money, she couldn't say anything.
I kind of nudge him, and I give him like a serious look. That, and with profits like the ones we could make, we wouldn't have to pay protection anymore.
Kind of like, it's not a lot. He kind of like stammers a little bit. He was over here just reminding me of my payments. It's not a big deal. They kind of like lowers his voice, like they kind of run the city a little bit. Guards think they have them in check, but from what I can see, Black Lanterns are.
Do you know anything about the red-headed elf that is a part of them?
Never dealt with a redhead. I've dealt with. There's a goblin that sometimes I've seen him around a little bit, and then that the guy you saw here, Arctic.
Like the goblin, the one with the bald scar on neck and the red foggy eye was a goblin, right?
No.
No.
You have not actually seen that person. You've only had him described to you by the kid.
Yeah, I know.
The goblin was. Yeah.
I can't remember.
The
if
goblin
he
had
a race on these two or not, because I didn't write it down.
Elf for the woman and you for the guy, I thought.
Yep, human for the guy. As far as you got the description, and he was bald and had a scar across his neck. That was distinctive, and he had one cloudy eye. The goblin, I can see the description a little bit. He was older and kind of pointy white beard, and he had actually a missing eye.
Missing
and had
eye.
a scar
Okay.
down the down
So
his face
it's
where the
male
eye was.
halfling, that's Arctic.
Yes, Arctic. He says Arctic Ophren, Ophren, and the first name Ardic, Arctic Ophren. He's kind of like, he's a nasty one, that one. I've seen what he does to people that don't pay their protection money. I don't want to mess with him.
How much does he make you pay, and how frequently?
Oh, well, we usually have to pay out about 10 gold a month.
Oh, that's cheap. I've seen more.
Like I said, it's not bad. But that's 10 gold. And in general terms, like, there's a good amount of working class people that'll never actually see a gold in their lifetime. Like, it can get kind of expensive for some people.
Yeah.
Depending on who they are and what business they run. But
Yeah, I was say, isn't like 10 gold a day like one of the wealthiest lifestyles?
hmm Yeah, like that's an aristocratic lifestyle is 10 gold a day, and a normal lifestyle is maybe a couple of silver. So it's yeah.
I know it's not much, but I will hand him 2 gold.
And takes it. You've already paid me for the time. What's this for?
This is for allowing me to be a partner.
Well, this will help when the salesman comes through with the oil. If you want, I can introduce him to you when he comes through, if you're around.
When do you think that would be?
I should be here in the next 3 or 4 days.
We might still be in town.
Well, if you are, come by. I can introduce you to him. He's a nice fellow.
Well, thank you. And thanks again for the oil.
Yeah. It's a hefty canister, but yeah, about 5 gallons of crude oil.
I might be able to use this to make a boom.
All right. So we have our.
You guys head back to the town and then the inn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You head back there. By the time you get back there, the sun is set and it's early evening at this point, probably around like 7, 8 o'clock.
All right. So we have our distraction. We have our plan. Looks like we're good to go tonight.
I just need a couple more hours to put this together so that I can make it usable.
Double checking. Does Valerian have message?
Valerian does not, unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
So how are you specifically trying to set up this bomb? Exactly.
What I want to do is kind of get some sort of maybe like a gallon keg of some sort of the oil, and then maybe mix some sort of like chemicals in it that might make it seem a little worse than it is. And I kind of just want to like set it up where it's maybe 120 feet away from wherever Valerian's going to be, and I set it off with a firebolt if need be.
Okay. Make a.
Can I help him with this?
Unfortunately, no. This is more of a mechanics type of situation, and it's unless you were proficient in that kind of thing, it's not really something that you could help with, and you could be there and see what he's doing, but it's something that he has to kind of do on his own.
I mean, with a short rest, I can be proficient with that.
Not so much like proficient in a tool, but like
okay,
the mind of a
okay, I get it.
Engineer. That's the word I was looking for. A mind of an engineer.
All right.
So go ahead and make a tinker's check for me, Valerian. Actually, we'll have you make 3.
The first is a 15 plus bonus 2 plus 21.
Okay, 21. Next one.
$24.
24. Okay.
19.
Okay. Yeah, you work on it a little bit. You do have to use. You essentially work through most of the night, unfortunately. It does take a little bit longer as you're setting this up and being very careful. You are able to get about a gallon of it set up, and essentially what you have done is you have collected the crude oil and some chemicals. You work into the this casing that you've made that has a small fuse on it, and essentially what it is you're going to light the fuse. It goes in and it ignites the fuel inside, not explosively, but there's nowhere for the pressure to go while it burns, and it eventually will explode outwards from the pressure and create a loud bang, a lot of smoke, and it will create some fire, being that the liquid itself is flammable.
That's kind of what I was hoping for. Is I want it to appear a lot worse than it actually is, like minimal damage. I don't want to blow a building away, but a small fire with a lot of smoke and a big sound might cause people to panic and rush to that area. Guards will have to settle down. Townfolk, perfect kind of distraction for midnight to get in and out.
If used in a battle situation, it will take, because of what you've done to set it up so you can kind of be away from it or get away from it in time, it does take a round. Like basically once you light it, it will go off the next round in a combat situation.
Okay.
And so we have a 6-second fuse, and you once you do and it explodes the next round, and it does a 15-foot radius explosion, and anything in that radius has to do a dex save or take 3d6 fire damage, and also a extra d8 of
Bludgeoning?
Piercing damage, we'll say, from shrapnel if they fail their save. It's 3d6 halved if they fail. I mean, 3d6 halved if they succeed. But if they fail, it's the 3d6 full plus an extra d8 of piercing damage as they get hit by shrapnel.
So it's what's the total damage?
The total damage is 3d6 plus 1d8 of piercing. So 3d6 fire, 1d8 piercing. But they only take the d8 if they fail their saving throw. If they succeed, it's just half damage from the 3d6 fire.
Interesting.
What is the DC for the dex save?
The DC is going to be 13. This is your first attempt at it, so it's not too high, but you can make it better as you experiment more later on.
Okay.
And then anything not being worn or carried in the area that is flammable will also ignite.
I'm calling it a boom keg.
Boom keg. You get that finished, and by the time you finish that, it's probably about 2, almost 3 o'clock in the morning.
All right.
I started
I will-
off watching him, but then I just fell asleep really early on into it because I'm not interested at all.
Versus just kind of folded in on herself.
Yep.
I'll do a real quick before going to bed alarm around everybody before I take my sentry's rest.
Okay.
How much does this weigh? Just the one.
Just the one, about 5 pounds.
Okay.
And then the 4 gallons of oil that I have left over.
That would be about with the canister about 15 pounds.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure my carry weight was correct. Alright, got my boom keg.
So before this, how much time do we have before 1 o'clock in the morning?
Like I said, by the time he finishes it, it's about almost 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, well, I guess we're waiting another day then.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's worth it.
I haven't made an explosive yet. This is interesting.
It'll be fun to test it out.
All right. So you finish up with that, and you guys all head to bed. Nothing seems to happen during the night. Your alarm doesn't go off at all. And then the next morning comes. Is there anything you guys want to do during the day, or do you guys just want to wait till the nighttime?
During the day, I would like to recall that engine that I worked on and come up with some sort of like crude blueprint based off of what I worked on and what I saw in that, and see if I can't come up with some sort of crude engine that I can work on later.
Sure. Make a basic intelligence check.
Am I able to guidance myself when doing this?
Sure. As you're going to like draw it out.
13, 2, 15, or 19.
Okay. You start working on it, and it takes you a little bit, but you have a decent idea, and you guys see Valerian working on it for a few hours. It's kind of like a piece of paper, and he's setting up this like drawing with little annotations and notes and whatnot that don't really make sense to you guys, but seem to make sense to him as he sets up this like blueprint for what you're assuming was the engine he was working on last night. Anything else you guys want to do during the day?
Since we're waiting another day and stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and take on the Tinker Tools, or not Tinker Tools, Jeweler's Kit proficiency. Okay. After I get up, and just like see if I can use that to work one of those jewels, or one of the
okay.
Yeah, the jewels. Gems, whatever they're called.
Make a jeweler check with using your dexterity.
And I'm using the ones that I would like to also ask for the ones that Valerian had.
It's already worked
started
out.
On.
Say what?
Mm-hmm. I'll pass the ones that I've started on over.
Okay.
Are you going to work on those all day, or how long are you want to work on those?
Yeah, most of the day. I do want to make sure I get a short rest so I can get that perception back before we go head out, though. So that was a natural 20. You said what kind was it? What check was it?
Dexterity.
Dexterity. So that's going to be 3 plus proficiency plus 2. So that's 25 total.
Okay. Yeah. You work on it for a good number of hours during the day, and you are able to actually get 2 of the larger rocks completely cut down and in a rough shape. Basically, next step is to polish them and get them into a more of a presentable look to them. But you did a really good job, actually, and you got a couple of them down. So.
For flavor, my left eye is black the entire time that I'm doing this.
Okay.
Whenever I'm using my abilities, it goes black. Give me 1 second.
What about you, Afros?
Okay. Did the music stop?
I will go see Bubba because I like the open space.
There we go.
Okay.
And just chill with him while they're doing their thing.
You spend most of the day with Bubba, and it's a decent amount of not the most entertaining, but you do talk to the gnome farmer for a little bit, and take a walk with Bubba, and kind of move around the field with him, and yeah, it's peaceful.
I'm just like still mind fucked about the God is real thing. So I'm like, wow.
Do you want
That's so
to
fucked up.
concentrate on that at all?
Yeah, a little bit while I'm walking around with Bubba. I'm thinking about it. Okay. Oh no. Why did I roll well?
Oh no, she says.
What do I add to it?
Just your wisdom modifier.
Just my wisdom. Okay. That's a 23.
23. Okay. As you are walking around the field, you kind of get like not like lost, but you kind of get lost in your head as you're moving around, and the rhythmic kind of like of Bubba's footsteps as he's kind of moving around, slowly kind of start to echo away from what you're looking at, and just kind of looking around, and you swear you hear this loud from behind you. You look around up at the sky, it's cloudless, no lightning, no thunder, and the rumble still seems to kind of be in the back of your head, but nothing. And you get this strange, familiar sensation, something that you felt, or now that you're thinking about it, something you think you should have felt, possibly, back at the tower.
Okay. Oh,
that-
man, things get worse.
That's about it.
Intrigued.
You finish up there, and you end up heading home closer to evening time. Valerian, you finish up with your blueprint about midday through. Midnight, you finish up and get your proficiency back with perception. Closer around that time, so you guys kind of meet up around just before dusk.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Sounds like a plan to me.
So what is the final plan here?
So we're gonna wait until
I
about 1 o'clock,
what?
and then Valerian and Aphris are gonna use that bomb as a distraction to get the guards out, as many guards away as possible, I guess. And
Okay.
I'm going to try and climb in.
I'm not going to be anywhere near the bomb. Sorry.
to the roof.
I want to set it up in an alleyway, maybe like 2 or 3 blocks away from the guard post. So that way, I mean, like the guards can get there relatively quick, but it still causes a close enough panic to it that a lot of the civilians might need to be settled down.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm going to try and grappling hook to the roof and head in that way.
Okay.
I think I'm going to situate myself on the opposite side of the bomb, like a bit away from the building. And so if something goes wrong with that, I can run in and try to make another distraction.
Okay.
Just to help out if it's needed. Otherwise, I'll just be like mulling around, but not too close.
Okay. So you're going to be by the building or by the bomb?
Like on the, like by the building, but like on the opposite side of the bomb.
Okay, I see what you mean.
But not too close to the building either.
Okay. And then, Valerian, where are you going after you start the bomb?
I am going to actually go about 100 feet away from the bomb, and I'm going to attempt to light it with my firebolt.
Okay.
That way I don't have to like look like I'm running away from the scene.
Okay. And then midnight, are you waiting till the bomb goes off to get onto the roof, or are you going to be there before?
Yeah, until after the bomb goes off and the guards react.
Okay. Okay.
That way I have the least amount of chance of being caught.
Okay. I will say you will have to for the canister of the 5-gallon canister. It's obviously not something you can just put in your backpack unless you haven't finished the bag holding yet.
I'm sorry. Is this within a 120 feet?
What is?
The bomb going off.
That's up to where you guys put it. He said He said what? He said a block away.
Like a block or two, maybe not like the immediate block, maybe like the second block.
Okay, so I mean that's easily a good like 1,000 feet or so.
Okay, so no. All right.
Okay. So you guys head towards that area. Roll.
Before we leave, I asked Midnight, do you have a dagger I could borrow?
I only have 2, but I can let you borrow 1.
Well, I don't want to like. If you need it,
Never mind,
I
have
don't.
it.
I don't want to take it from you. I just didn't know if you had an extra.
No extras right now.
Okay.
Apparently,
I'll make it work.
the standard city block is 323 feet.
Oh, it's about 600 feet. 600 feet away then. A little over 700, almost 700.
I pull a crowbar out of my bag. Would this help?
No, I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Do you have something specific in mind that you want to do?
It's not a big deal. I'll figure it out if it comes to that.
Would a crossbow help you?
So
I have one of those. I'm sure I can make one of the arrows work.
All right.
So I'd like to do it like about 20 minutes after, what was it, 1 o'clock, when the guard shift occurs.
Okay.
Could we take our break before we do it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was about to say, once you guys head out, we'll take our 15-minute break now.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We'll be back. We'll be back in about 15 minutes.
All right.
I'm being bad and buying something I particularly don't need, but I'm gonna buy it anyway.
All right, let's transition since two of us are back. I have Twizzlers.
I got myself that one of the new merch things for Critical Role. They have a Letterman's jacket essentially, and it's got the Critical Role symbol on the chest, and then it's got the Mighty Nine symbol on the arm, and then on the back it's got the Expositor with the Cobalt Soul symbol on the back of it, and yeah, I really wanted it. So excited for that.
I think that belch means that Sky is back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It was caught in all its glory on stream.
Here you guys go.
It was beautiful.
Donka. I meant to get it out before I clicked the unmute button, but slip of the finger.
I got a new controller for my computer, wireless controller, in anticipation of trying to set up my stream again. Once I get the graphics card that's coming in and the power supply that we should have somewhere below, I'll be able to stream games at a not so bad rate.
Nice.
With this controller right here, that's actually pretty cool.
I've never been a fan of the off-placed joysticks.
Oh, well, that seems to be a PlayStation versus, every other console thing.
Yeah.
I started with Nintendo and kind of moved on to PlayStation. And PlayStation, I don't like the stuff like that. I would rather have them off because it just feels more natural like this.
Yeah.
But the
All right.
the interesting thing is this can actually connect to Wii, PlayStation, Xbox, to computer, Android, and iPhone. Not
Very
Wii,
nice.
not
It kind of
Wii-
looks like the.
not Wii, Switch.
It kind of looks exactly like a Switch Pro controller.
Yeah.
But it also has back here, which you might be able to see or might not, buttons that I can program.
Yeah. Kind of like the Pro Xbox controller has.
There's a Switch controller that has that too. My kid has that one.
Can't wait to try it out and see how well it works.
All right.
Do we
So now that we are getting into this, 1 second, I need to change the atmosphere.
Alright. I'm back on game time, so we're good to go whenever. I miss Birdie.
I do too.
She's out somewhere telling somebody to get stitches.
Ooh.
Throwing a rock at them.
Yeah.
Do you like heists?
Found this music and I was like, yes, I need to do this. I need this one. So
It's called the
Okay.
heist.
it is. So you guys head out from the inn, and you guys head off into the night towards where you guys are kind of all going to scatter and get where you need to be. Make stealth checks for those people that are trying to be stealthy.
Yes, that's a good number. Total 23.
23.
Oh, wait, no. That's an 8, so total is 25.
Fuck you, disadvantage. It was a nat 20 and then a 12. Skill. Which is still a 18 with guidance.
Okay. And then, Afris, what about you? Are you going to stealth or are you just going to
I'm not trying
get
to
where
be
you're going?
stealthy.
Okay.
I'm not gonna roll well on my disadvantage, so I'm just being casual, but I'm not being
Yeah.
stealthy.
So yeah, you guys start moving, and then
I'm always
Valerian,
Because I'm placing a bomb.
yeah. So Valerian and Midnight kind of off away from each other, and you kind of lose sight of Midnight pretty quickly. You see Valerian a little bit go off, and then he kind of dips on a corner, and you lose sight of him. And then yeah, you move up, down through the alleyways and through the streets and whatnot, and you end up at the far end of the on the opposite side of where kind of he was talking about setting the bomb. What do you do? Like you sit somewhere? Do you just stand on the street corner? Are you gonna try to hide, or what are you gonna do?
I'm just chilling. Maybe I'll look at buildings, building watch in the middle of the night. Not suspicious at all.
Make a charisma check for me.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Just that
I
person
am-
sitting there whistling. Nothing's happening.
My +0
Sad
charisma.
Keanu Wing.
12.
12. Okay. So yeah, you kind of get into, and you kind of stand there, and you kind of I hope this happens soon. And he's just kind of looking around, just standing on the sidewalk in an empty street by yourself. And the Valerian, you go, and I would like you to make a perception check to find a decent place to put this, where you feel it would do the most audible damage, but not actually any collateral damage, or as much collateral damage.
A dirty 20.
Okay. You are able to find a nice section where it's going to be kind of in an alleyway that when it goes off, it looks like it probably will hit some trash and kind of set it on fire, but there's nothing else in the alleyway or the building that seems to be flammable. So you're just going to set off a lot of garbage on fire and a lot of smoke and that kind of thing. So, and then there's a nice viewpoint from up a ways, just inside your range of your firebolt to get to set it off.
Yep.
Midnight, make another stealth check to get in position so you are ready when the explosion goes off.
Another stealth check, you said?
Yes.
That could be worse. That's going to be 9 plus 7, 16.
Okay. So you're able to kind of get around, and you get to a point where you're kind of, do you want to be on the side or the back of the building? Where do you want to be?
What kind of building am I on?
It depends on which side of the guardhouse you want to be on.
I want to get the one that can get me closest to the roof.
Okay, so that'll probably be the one on the back end of the building, the back end of the building, and it's a kind of a large, slightly slanted, but it's got a kind kind of this awning section that goes over a balcony that sits not close enough that you could like jump off and get to the back of the roof normally, but it's the awning itself is out enough that you are kind of almost above the line of the guardhouse itself.
Okay.
And you kind of get up there, make a acrobatics to get up to the roof, and then Valerian, you also make a acrobatics check for me.
Okay.
That's going to be a soft 20.
Soft 20. Okay.
I like this die, by the way.
Yeah,
it's being
fine.
very nice to me tonight.
18.
18. Okay. So you get in position and you are kind of looking, making sure you get your good vantage point. Midnight, you get into position on the rooftop. Afris, you're sitting there kind of like in the middle of the street, or on the side of the road, just kind of like looking around and whatnot. As you're standing there kind of waiting.
I fucked Cthulhu, just like,
And as you're sitting there humming, you hear somebody call out to you, Afris, and you turn around and it's Detective Drezik.
oh, great.
Oh, no.
Not doing that.
He kind of like walks up and he's like, oh, "What are you doing out here so late?"
I was looking, just making sure my friend wasn't around.
Oh,
Know.
actually, I think I might have caught a lead on something with your friend. Actually, I was
Really?
I was talking with a friend. We were having dinner with my wife, and he brought up something about the Black Lanterns and that they have someone that we have suspected of dealing with exotic animals. And I was going to go back to the office real quick and see if I could look up some files. And yeah. If you want to come, I can. We can look into this together.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna be very loud on our way there. Like, I'm clomping my ass. Like, hopefully Midnight hears me.
So yeah, you start heading towards the guardhouse with
I'm jingling and jangling my chainmail, like
and
as much as I can without being too obvious. I've run into a few things on accident.
There's a decent amount of crashing and banging as you get closer to the building, and but as you guys are getting closer, there is a definite. So like basically, Valerian's ready, and since he knows he's the guy to do the signal, he lets his firebolt off. I'm guessing, right, Valerian? When you're ready to do this is before you hear anything.
22 to hit that fuse.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Of course you do.
Boom!
You couldn't have missed.
And it goes. And as it started to, it's about to like get all the way down, and you start hearing Afris talking really loudly and clanging and banging like she's talking to someone, and you kind of like shimmy out, and you see her walking towards the entrance to the place with someone that you haven't met yourself yet, Midnight, you're also hearing this kind of loud banging and talking as she's getting closer. Anything either of you want to do in this one kind of like turn I'm giving you to figure out what you want to do? Because Midnight, you haven't heard the bang go off yet. Valerian, you know what's about to go off.
And I don't know shit.
No.
And
At least I'll be genuinely surprised when it goes off.
I think I'm just gonna watch and wait and see what happens.
Yeah,
how far away are
Afris and the detective are just walking up the steps towards the front door.
And how far away are they from me?
They are about, well, to be in view of that, you'd probably, and be as close as you could to the guardhouse itself, you're probably about 500 feet away.
I'm going to... Let me see. Spells. Out to 300. Okay.
How are the guards that are circling positioned right now?
The two guards are on, one is just coming around the front, and the other one is just coming around the back. So you can see one kind of going underneath where you're hiding, and then there's one that's just about to come around the corner and see the detective and Avarice.
Okay, so not the best time to try and cross. All right, yeah. Watch and wait.
Okay.
I'm just going to let this boom go off because I got nothing I can do to stop it.
Okay. So the guard comes around the corner. Detective is like, "Hey, Charlie, I'm looking for," and as he's about to finish that sentence, you hear just from down the block, and there's kind of this flash off down the road, and in both of them, like, "What was that?" And you gotta hear as Midnight, you see the other guard from behind run to the front, and they both kind of collect themselves there, and the detective is like, "What? Was that an explosion? What the hell?
What?
We gotta go check this out." And they start heading off in that direction.
All right, take my moment.
Should I come with you, or do I just stay here?
It'd be safer if you come with us. Yes.
Okay,
And,
I'm coming.
You kind of lead off with him, and so make a acrobatics check, Midnight, to see if you can get across. Or you're doing the grappling hook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Make a attack roll, and it'll be a improvised weapon, so no proficiency, just your dex modifier.
Oh no. My dex modifier. That's a total of 8.
Okay. So you kind of and you go, and it catches on the side of your hand, and it actually just dips down at the last second before it actually hits anything, kind of hits the ground. You have to start pulling it back up, so you'll be able to try again next turn. Valerian.
Midnight shakes her head and says, "Should have practiced first."
Valerian is both shocked but pleasantly surprised and very proud of what he just made.
It was a loud explosion. You get you being a lot closer to anyone else, you could kind of feel the pressure of the explosion as you saw that it just ripped apart part of the walls. The brick is ripped away in places, and part of it's all blackened where it exploded outwards, and there's a big pillar of smoke coming out of there. Some of the garbage that was lying around is all on fire now.
I want to jump down from where I am, or climb down so it's a little quieter. Okay. And then I'm going to... this is hard. What's in the alley that I'm by?
The alleyway that you're in has a couple of fire exits, essentially, that help kind of get up and down, and then a couple of trash cans and some garbage, but other than that, not too much. It's an alleyway between 2 streets, and then 2 buildings, obviously, on either side, that they both seem to be living areas.
I forgot to mark off that spell slot.
I can't hear what you're saying.
I'm sorry, I was talking to myself. I forgot to mark off the spell slot. I'm disguising myself.
Oh, I know. I can see that Tyler's talking, but I can't hear him.
You could see who was talking?
It looks like Skylar's
Valerian.
Oh, Skylar.
Yeah.
Was he talking?
Yeah, his thing is green.
Yeah.
No, now he's gone.
I'll be back in a second.
Oh, there he is. Can we hear you?
Better?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah. Talk for a moment
Cool.
to make sure
Hey,
you're
pal.
properly volumed.
Yeah, am I? Do I sound okay?
Does
Sounds
sound
good to
good
me.
to me, but I'm gonna raise you just a tiny bit.
All right. What are the chances that I could morph my body in a way to make my clothes look like a trash can if I cast Disguise Self?
Disguise self does specifically say it has to be a creature. It's not really like into things.
I'm not
that's a
turning.
general
I'm not
shape.
turning into a trash can. I just want to, being metallic myself. I kind of want to like crunch my body up to a point where like my clothes appear to be cylindrical, and just give them a metal sheen with Disguise Self. And then
Okay.
if somebody were to like tap the top of it, they would tap metal because that's what I'm made out of, and it would
Okay.
sound like a trash can.
Sure. Yeah, you kind of disguise yourself to be wearing a little bit more of like cylindrical type of clothing, and when you kind of like sit and you look roughly in the dark, like a trash can.
Because it doesn't necessarily state that I have to be a creature per se. I just have to adopt a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs. I'm staying my own shape. I'm just changing my clothes to appear cylindrical. And I'm going to try to be a trash can because I don't know what else to do.
Make a stealth check. We'll say at advantage.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
I didn't hear your roll if you said that though.
No, I haven't. 17.
I love the heist music.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Same.
Kind
17.
of words.
17, you said?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You're decently stealthy. You feel like a trash can.
You are garbage.
You are literally garbage.
And yeah. So the detective and the guards and Aphris continue to run towards it. It's still going to take them a couple of rounds to get to where you are. So you're just going to wait till they get to that point, or you, Valerian?
Yeah, I'm just going to keep a watchful eye out while I'm being a garbage can.
Okay. Then Midnight, on your next turn, you can try again to throw your grappling hook.
13 plus 3, I believe. Yep, that's a total of 16.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to throw it to the other side of actually hit the opposite side and kind of pull and kind of catches on the lip of the building, and you kind of pull and tug, and it looks like it's tight.
All right. Use that to try and climb up. Swing across and climb.
All right. Make an acrobatics check.
Oh, no. 7.
I always love hearing that shit.
7.
Oh no.
So as you go to move off of the roof itself, one of the shingles kind of slips under your foot, and you end up kind of going sideways as you fall off the roof, attempting to like just kind of land on and you hit the side of the wall of the building itself. Kind of loud, not like super loud, like everyone's gonna hear you, but it was like poof, as you hit. You weren't quite ready to hit there. You do take 9 points of bludgeoning damage from the smack against the wall, but you're now like kind of like almost to the ground, kind of hanging onto the rope. But it seems to have held against the roof, so you're able to use it to climb up.
Well, at least it's quality
and
craftsmanship.
Yeah. And you get up to the top of the roof and scramble on top. What you see in front of you is mostly empty roof with kind of like a gravel rock roof, and then there is a small kind of a latched door, almost kind of like a shelter like you saw at the farmer's place that leads seemingly into the building.
All right. First things first, check for traps.
Roll an investigation check.
It's a natural 1. Total of 4. Excuse me, total of 5.
You do not believe that it is trapped?
All right.
We gotta get you the lucky.
Yeah, I was doing so good earlier. Now I'm not doing so good. Well, if it's not trapped, then I'm gonna go ahead and try and. Is it locked?
Yes, it is locked. You kind of open it.
Thieves' tools attempt to unlock it.
Go for it. So Dex plus your proficiency modifier, and if your expertise, double the proficiency modifier.
All right. That'll be a total of. I don't have expertise, but I do have a total of. My brain shut down. 16. That's the number.
16. So you kind of like you're working at the lock a little bit, and it seems harder than it seemed in the beginning. Like the lock itself looks relatively simple. You're like, I got this, and you start going at it, and you're like, shit, it's not going. And 16 doesn't make it.
Oh.
At this point, after you finish this, the detective and Afris are about less than like half a block away from your current position. Near your position, Valerian, kind of going towards the smoke and the fire. You gonna stay where you
are? Absolutely.
Okay.
Actually,
rushing.
I want to see if I can't position myself a little bit more stealthier next to the garbage can by me.
Okay, you roll another stealth check for me.
I'm going to guidance myself just. Not too shabby. Just 22.
22. Okay. Yeah, you feel like you're even more trash than you were before.
That's what everybody tells me.
And Afris, yeah, you kind of like are continuing towards that area. You can see a nice big pillar of smoke, and you see some light of fire and whatnot. And the detective and the guard seem to be completely distracted by it. Midnight, if you want to try again, you certainly can.
Yep. Well, that's not going to make it if the other one didn't.
Yeah, you continue to try to work at it, but it's a tough lock. Something seems to be kind of holding it. That, like, I've done these locks before, but it seems to be holding itself shut by some other means.
That's a total of 14, by the way. All right.
Okay. So you work at it for another 6 seconds, another like few seconds as you're trying to like work at it. You're like,
yeah,
shit. Doesn't seem to be going. With that next one, the detective and whatnot get to where kind of they're just about like a round away from the alleyway where the bomb went off. You can try one more time if you'd like.
Okay.
Before they get there.
Yeah, that's natural 1. That's not going to do it. You're going in jail.
So unfortunately, as you are working at it, you get kind of frustrated and pull and you bend your lockpick, and until you get time to work at it, the lockpick itself is now useless.
All right. Well, I have a crowbar, so.
Okay. Okay. That's one way to do it. So you can try to use the crowbar, and it will give you advantage on your strength and on an athletics check to try to pry open the door.
Athletics? Well, I don't have any bonuses on that, but advantage does help. That's a total of 18.
18. You jam it in, and you start. Get your other hand in, you get some more leverage. Push it. Put your full weight into it. You let go, and what the hell is keeping this door shut? Like you see it kind of moving, but it looks like something's up with this door that seems to be holding it shut.
Well, this is a real kink in our plans.
Yes.
What would you like to do, Midnight? At this point, the detective and Afris and whatnot get around. You see them at this point from your hiding spot, Valerian, as they come around the corner, and they're sort of kind of talking with each other. What the hell is this? What's going on? What happened here? How did something explode? What did explode? Blah, blah, blah. And they're trying to work it out. And give me just a moment here. Where's my there's the detective starts looking around and starts trying to figure out what exactly happened here and how this occurred. Past that, what are you going to do, Afris? While you're sitting there, you see the alleyway kind of on fire with a bunch of smoke billowing out of it.
We should probably put the fire out, don't you think?
The two guards pick up their whistles and they start blowing them very hard. And Midnight, you can hear this down the couple of blocks. You hear the whistle of the guards blowing, so you're not sure who's that's going to call, where they're going to come from. But
that's loud.
Yes. Anything you want to do, Valerian?
Not if they're that close.
Okay.
I'm definitely
Midnight.
a trash can.
Midnight, what would you like to do?
My backup plan failed. Only thing I can really do at this point is try again.
Go for it.
Which isn't going to help because I have no athletics. Yeah, that didn't help at all.
20.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just there's something holding this door shut.
Can I look down and see if there's anyone around at the entrance?
Sure. Yeah. You kind of quickly kind of over to the edge. You kind of look over. Doesn't seem to be anyone at the entrance at the moment.
All right. I'd like to try and drop down and see if, or actually, is there any other can I see any other entrances around? I know the windows were all barred, but
yep, there's the two windows on the sides and the one window in the back, and then the front door. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be any other entrance into this building.
All right. So I guess the best thing I can try and do is get in through the front.
Okay. You gonna try to drop down to the front?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make just an acrobatics for me real quick, as you're just trying to drop down to get down there quickly.
Acrobatics. That's a total of 23.
Okay. You get down and you're gonna just try the door.
Yep.
Okay. So you try the door and it's locked.
And I don't have my lockpick, so. Well, I guess I'm gonna try the crowbar.
Okay, go for it.
Hopefully this is easier. That's gonna be a 14.
14. Unfortunately, you kind of jam it in. You start This does not want to give.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and back off and like try and meld into the shadows.
Okay, make a
And
stealth
then-
check for me.
And I'm going to send Afris a message.
She's a little too far away for message.
Okay, right.
Just a few hundred
That's
feet
not
away.
where I wanted to roll that. Oh, that's a natural 20 for a total of 27.
Okay. Yeah. You're able to kind of like look around real quick and you dip out of there.
Swapped
And
my Bay dice.
yeah. As you dip out, the two of you having no idea any of this is happening. The detective in that calls some more guards. There's a number of them that come, about three more. They end up at the alleyway, and then the detective ends up looking at you, Afris, and is like, "I think they've got it handled. We should go check back to the precinct just in case something happened there. This might have been a distraction."
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he leads you back towards the precinct.
I am quite
you get back
loud
there.
because I don't
get
know
back
when midnight
there.
is.
Yeah, you get back there. Not really. You don't see anything wrong when you get to the precinct itself, but he does go up to the front, pulls out a kind of a key ring, and then he opens the door to the building and allows you in.
Okay. So I'm like, when we're going through the door, I'm like, so to your office then?
Yeah. When
Yeah, that's.
when I see
Go ahead.
Afris, I'm gonna send a message. Tell her wasn't able to get in. Distract him.
Okay. Okay.
So he opens the door and is like kind of like allowing you in. Do you just go in?
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like, so, to your office, you said you had a lead?
Yes, actually I do. Though I should check on the building real quick just to make sure. If you don't mind staying here in the lobby, I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, did he close the door behind me?
He does close it and he locks it behind him, and then
Okay.
moves towards the gate, and he kind of unlocks that and then moves in there, closes that, locks that, and goes in and starts kind of searching around.
Oop.
Man, I don't think my sleight of hand is good. It's really not. I don't know that Midnight doesn't have her lockpicks though.
You don't.
don't
He
know that.
does go. He does go
Seems
down
pretty
the stairs. He kind of searches around the office a little bit and then goes in the back and goes downstairs. So you are at the moment, at the very least, by yourself. It seems.
Okay. Oh, God. I am going to open the door. I'm gonna step
Kinda reach behind
outside.
and you kinda
I'm
open
gonna
it up.
step outside so it's not suspicious. And then I'm gonna look, just like to the side, and I'm gonna be like, Emily, is that you?
Midnight cocks her
Okay.
head but tries to sneak in.
Okay, roll a stealth check for me.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. That's a total of 8
God.
for a natural 1.
Oh my God.
Okay. So you are getting up there, and as you like kind of turn to Afris, kind of like thanks, you trip on the stairs, and as you like kind of fall forward, your hand hits the door and it swings and closes. It doesn't necessarily lock, but it's a loud as the door itself is slammed shut.
I'm just mentally face palming right now.
Do you want to continue to go inside?
Turn to the corner of the room. I'm not even gonna to the door. I'll be like, Emily, is that you? I'm looking for my ghost friend. I thought I heard her outside.
She just, Average just completely ignores you.
I'm like, Emily, where are you? I thought I heard your voice. I'm quite loud, so hopefully, what's his face can hear me.
Try to hide under some desk somewhere.
So you're gonna get in there.
I didn't reopen the door, so you'll have to do that yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So you open the door, and you kind of slip in. Do you leave the door open?
I thought it slammed shut.
It did, but you're going in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So are you leaving it open behind you?
No, I'm gonna close it behind me.
Okay. You're gonna close it. And you get inside and you now see for the first time yourself this large precinct with the kind of lobby area in the front and then the fence that kind of blocks the back area from the front area. And the fence itself doesn't go all the way to the ceiling, but it's about a good 7 feet up. There's about like a 2-foot gap between it and the ceiling.
Okay, and I'm assuming the door is locked to get to the.
There's a door in the gate. He did lock that behind him. Yes.
No. Did Midnight lock the door?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna reopen the door and be like, Emily, are you there? I thought I heard your voice. And then I'm gonna close the door and I'm gonna lock it.
So you're back inside with Midnight.
Yes.
Okay. Midnight, what are you doing?
But I'm gonna ignore her. I'm pretend I don't see her. I'll even go to Dresdick's office.
Well, the door,
Yeah,
so like you're in that area, and there's the gate, and that you're kind of stuck behind because he passed through that and locked that as well. And
Okay, I'll go towards there.
Okay, so you gotta towards the. Yep. Midnight, what are you doing?
If she's over there, can I use her as a leverage up to get over the fence?
If she lets you.
I'm gonna point at her back and ask.
The top of your shoulders come maybe like a foot away from like near the top. So.
Hey. It's trying to ignore you. I'm just gonna whisper and be like, he's down there. Where do you want to go?
Is there anywhere to hide there?
I mean, there's desks and stuff, and there's 2 more doors. There's 4 doors on either side of the walls, on either side of the building itself, and then there's the stairs in the back, and then the large kind of fishbowl area in the back as well. That's a little bit raised with you can see kind of a large table, kind of a conference table in the back.
Yeah. I'll try and hide. So.
Okay. Are you gonna try to get past the gate?
Well, Midnight's trying to get to the stairs, right?
I don't know where she's trying to get to.
Yeah, you said the fenced off area had
downstairs, right?
A gap above that I can probably climb through.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that's what you'd like to do right now. So make a acrobatics check.
With advantage since Afris is helping.
Sure. You're climbing on Afris. If she is helping.
Are you helping me?
Is Afris helping?
I'm a little confused. Okay, so you're going into the back part, but not down the stairs.
No, I'm gonna find a place
She's just trying to get over the fence.
Oh, okay. Okay, if I help you, how are you gonna get back over?
I mean, I assume it's easier to get out. That's my assumption right now.
Why would you assume that?
Because most places
I whisper that to you. I'm like, why would you assume that?
Most places have a different lock on the other side.
I mean, maybe, but the door is gonna make a noise.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I want to see if I can hear what's his face. I forgot his name.
Dresdick. Detective Dresdick.
Yes, I'm on the wrong page in my notes.
I'm trying.
Make a perception check.
I'm trying to get this job done, and things are not going well.
Nice, man.
Perception. What is my perception? That's a 19.
Okay. You kind of listen, and you hear some. It's something's like sliding and banging down below. I'm sure maybe
I feel
it's
like you need to go downstairs. Okay, so I guess I will. If I still hear that, I guess I'll help Booster over.
okay. So yeah, roll your acrobatics at advantage.
But if I start hearing him coming up, I'm leaving her. Like I'm leaving her behind. Just gonna whoosh. I don't want to get in trouble.
Dice, please.
I have a friend to save. I can't get arrested.
That's 14.
14. With it's enough that you're able to kind of climb up over it. It's a little rough, and because the gate itself is not like a solid piece of wall, it's kind of wobbly, and you're able to get up and over and kind of like climb your way down. It's a little like like loud as the because it's like a chain link
I'll
fence.
start jangling my armor.
You do hear a thing from downstairs. You hear Drezek. You okay up there, Avarice?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just waiting, dancing, trying to keep my mind off things.
Were you gonna say something, Valerian?
At this point, I'm going to drop my disguise if nobody's around anymore.
There are still a number of people around in the opposite, about 100 feet away from you in that alleyway. But that's about, no one's immediate by you, but they are kind of within eyeshot of you, depending on how stealthy you are.
So people can't see me?
If you rolled really low on your stealth, they're a little distracted at the moment, so they're not necessarily looking for you.
I just, are they all guards or just townsfolk?
They're mostly guards. There are a couple of people that have come out of their houses to see what's going on. You can see people kind of looking through windows. You see a couple of people moving out on the street, kind of looking around, craning their neck. Not too many, but there's some.
With all that guards, I'm gonna stick as my trash can.
Okay. You get on the other side, Midnight. What would you like to do now? You gonna try to hide, or are you gonna try to get somewhere?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and hide, in that fishbowl area you said.
Okay, so you're gonna move to the back of the area and move up to the fishbowl. Make a stealth check for me.
That's decent. That's a total of 19.
Okay. You get up there and get a decent place to hide. About a minute later, you hear footsteps coming up the stairs, and the detective is coming up, and he comes back towards you. Avarice unlocks the gate and kind of opens it, leaving it slightly ajar, but he's kind of standing in the doorway, and he kind of holds out a folder that he has and kind of opens it up, and you see as he kind of shows you some of the information. He's like, this is the person that I think might be involved with it, and you see a picture of it's kind of a grainy sepia colored photo of the red-haired elf woman, and you see a name that is labeled in the file, Ladrili Laurinell. And it's Ladrilye, Ladrili, and then last name Laurinell, Laranel.
If you can see, I wrote Lara, however you say her name, and right there it says bitch.
He says Ladrili is a slippery one. We've seen a few things about her, but she seems to be a high-ranking member in the Black Lanterns, and not just here. The organization itself, along in this entire sector, they seem to be headquartered in Sharn, but she seems to be a high representative here. And we've seen her around doing some dealings, but we can never actually catch her in any of the acts. collected what we can with this file, but as you can see, it's a little light. So there's only a couple pieces of paper with some known associates and some things. It's like suspected crimes of hers. But she has been known to deal with people that we have arrested previously on selling exotic animals illegally. And I think if we can question her, maybe we can catch her on something, maybe we can figure out what happened with your friend.
From what I've heard, and don't take this the wrong way, new in town, but I've heard the Black Lantern kind of runs this place and not the guards.
He kind of like closes the folder and he's... It's a problem. They run a lot of the underground business here, and unfortunately there's not a lot that, yeah. They run a lot of the underground business here, and they do influx a lot of money. But I believe if we can catch them in the right things, we can get them legitimately. I know that some people here are on their payroll, unfortunately, but I do what I can every day.
Do I trust him?
Make an insight check.
Can I roll insight? Yeah.
And then Midnight, are you wanting to stay hidden at this moment while this conversation's happening?
His back is turned?
Yes.
That is a 21.
He seems honest.
21.
You look at his face, and he looks determined, but he also looks tired. You can definitely tell that he works hard and doesn't get a lot of sleep. Obviously, being here at 2 a.m., he kind of is engrossed in his work. And you kind of notice as well while you were here, not a lot of people seem to socialize with him when you were here. So he might not be the most popular guy, probably because he is one of the people that is trying to take out a lot of these people's payrolls.
Sense makes sense. Well, I trust you. I did get a message from a ghost.
A ghost?
My friend is alive.
Midnight, are you wanting to move?
I'm going to send Afris a message again. I think I'm going to just wait until he leaves.
Okay. You hear that in your head. It's up to you if you want to respond.
Yeah. One question. Okay, so we're in the fishbowl, or not in the fishbowl, but she is. Where is his office? Like,
He has a cubicle. He has like kind of a desk that he brought you to, and it's like 2 rows back from the front onto the right if you're facing the rows of desks.
So if we sat down at his desk, and I didn't actually sit down, but would he be facing the opposite way?
He would be facing away from the fish. He would be facing away from the fishbowl.
Okay. Goodness. Okay. And the stairs aren't where Midnight is, right? Like she'd have to go out of the thing and then go
out of the fishbowl, down and to the right, from where you're facing your right to get to the stairway.
Okay. Detective Drezik, I know you have a wife, so don't take this the wrong way. I'm not hitting on you. But is there anywhere open that we could get a drink to talk about this? Because I'm a little stressed, honestly.
I do know a bit of a seedier place that stays open pretty late. Yeah, we can go and talk more if you want.
Okay, I think that's a good plan.
Let me just return the file, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
And he starts heading out towards the back of the place, and he heads downstairs. And do you stay hidden, Midnight?
Yeah.
Okay. And about 5 minutes later, you hear more kind of like down the stairway, and then he comes back, and he locks the gate behind him, and then He goes to check the door. He goes to the door and nope. And he just kind of opens it. Not really. He doesn't seem to notice or realize that the door that he had previously locked it, but it is no longer locked.
I locked it back.
Oh, you did lock it. Okay, I apologize. Never mind. Either way, he unlocks it and lets you out, and then locks it behind him, and he kind of.
I'm just like, good luck.
He hits a switch, and the room before he leaves kind of hits a switch on the side, and the whole office building goes dark.
Okay.
And then at midnight, you hear the door close, the lights go off, and then as it gets locked, and you are now seemingly in here by yourself.
Yep. All right. Good thing I have very good night vision. I would like to take a moment to look around and see if there might be some keys laying around or something.
Make a perception check.
Dice, please. That's a total of 8, so I assume not.
Not out here, no. You kind of look through some of the desks. A lot of the desks are locked themselves, and most people don't seem to have left anything out on their desks or anything.
All right, then I'm going to head downstairs.
Okay. You get to the spiral staircase, and you move down that way, and you hit a door partway down. The stair continues to go down, spiraling, and you can kind of if you move a little bit more, you can see there's another door, and you're not sure if there's any more down, but it seems like there's multiple places you can go to along this exit, along the stairway.
Oh boy. Any windows in the door?
Nope.
All right, can I open the door?
It is locked.
How long would it take me to fix my lockpick?
Depends on the check that you make. Are you still proficient in your? Are you proficient in any tools right now?
Thieves' tools.
I'd say make a dexterity check to see how well you do. And so basically just d20 plus your dexterity modifier to try to see if you can bend it back into place.
That would be a total of 13.
Okay. You get it mostly back in place, but you can definitely tell that if you're not careful, it'll straight up break.
Yeah. All right. What else do I have? Still have my crowbar if necessary. Yeah, I don't have anything else that would work except for maybe a dagger, but I doubt that would work in these locks. Alright, let's give it a try and hope I'm not screwed.
Okay.
Good luck.
Ooh, that is a good roll. 16 plus 3 plus 2, so total 21.
21. Okay. You kind of get it in, and you start to feel that same pressure that you felt before, and so you just press a little bit harder, and you just... and it unlocks. And you open up the door.
All right.
And inside is a large room that has a number of metal filing cabinets that kind of line the walls, and then there's rows in the middle as well. And then near the back end of the room, there is another door.
All right. In my knowledge of criminal stuff, would I at all know that if this would be the place where the book is being held or not?
You're not really sure. You've had your dealings with the guards and authority, but you've never actually been worked with the authority, so you're not really sure how their filing system or their evidence system works.
Yeah.
So it's up to you if you want to explore more of this area or continue somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and check the other door. Tell me it's
The
not
door
locked.
at the back of this room, or
Yeah.
or down the stairs.
The other door in the back of the room.
Okay, go for it. You get back there, and it doesn't seem to be locked. You kind of like test the handle, and it doesn't seem to be locked.
All right, let's open it slightly and take a look in.
You look in, and it's a dark room, and it seems to have a number of glass casings inside. That it's a little bit of a smaller room. It's about a 20-foot by 20-foot room, where the other room outside is more like 30 by 30. And it has a number of glass casings that seem to be holding random objects. It's a little hard to you can see with your dark vision that a number of the items seem to be some of them are weapons, some of them are pieces of clothing, some of them seem to be pieces of like damaged items of some sorts, and possibly could be the evidence lockup.
That's promising. I'm gonna look for that book.
Okay. We walk in, make a perception check for me.
Dice, please. That's a natural 1.
Natural 1. You are looking around and you aren't catching anything. You don't seem to see it. This ledger that you heard about as you're kind of moving through and looking at things. You can continue to look if you'd like, or unless you want to move on to a different area.
I get the feeling that I wasn't doing a very good job, so probably would want to look again.
Okay. Just want to double check yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
That's better. That's a total of 14.
14? Okay. You are looking around, and you do see a glass case in the back that was kind of hidden by another one, and up on it holds a couple of items. One is a kind of a gnarly looking dagger. It's got that kind of like weighty blade, kind of like a ritual dagger would. It has a gnarled looking hand that looks kind of decayed and rotten, and it's kind of like sitting by itself. And then up on top it has you see on kind of like a little bit of a stand, there's a red book with a monogrammed R on the top corner.
All right, and that's in a glass case?
Mm-hmm. It's all in one case, all of those items, kind of a long case along the wall.
So that was a dagger, what else? And the book, and what else?
Dagger, the gnarled hand, gnarled rotten hand, and then the red book with a monogrammed L, not R. Apologize.
Okay. Oh god, this book belongs to L. Okay. I want to check and see how if I open this, would it set some sort of alarm off or something?
Make an investigation check.
Well, not a great roll, but hopefully something. Investigation 14.
14. You look around. There doesn't seem to be any handles or anything to open the glass case. But there doesn't seem to be necessarily any traps to it.
All right. Well, I think I am going to take out my crowbar and smash the case if there's no.
Okay. So yeah, you take it and you're gonna. It's a loud shatter.
Hopefully, no one's here right now.
Hopefully, and it's a loud. And it shatters everywhere. Glass is all over the ground, and whatnot. And seems to be there. Nothing seems to have happened at the moment besides that loud smash.
All Alright. I am going to take the book. And I'm debating if I want to take the dagger or not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to take the dagger.
Okay. Grab the dagger. Put it in you. Grab that. And how are you going to attempt to get out?
First things I'm going to try and do is once I head up the stairs, I'm going to see if there's a lock on this side of the gate door.
The gate door, yeah. You get up towards the top of the stairs, and you start heading towards the gate. About a minute or so back, Valerian, you are seeing a number of the guards investigating the area and whatnot. And one of them kind of perks up and then says, hey, someone's at the lockup. And a number of them actually start running back towards the building itself. And
I'm going.
I'm sorry, you just.
I'm going to.
Okay.
When they all attentions are averted from my area, I'm going to cast Disguise Self again and look like that young boy that gave us the information.
Okay, you're a little taller than he is, but yeah.
Can't I use it to shrink a foot?
Yeah, but you're pretty tall, aren't you?
I'm 5'10" now. So I look like the orc that we hit.
You're a few inches taller. Are you going to go with the orc instead?
And after I cast that, I'll wait 6 seconds, and I'm going to cast Thunder Wave on the garbage can, and then take off running.
Okay. So there's a loud as the trash can flips end over end, and garbage starts flipping everywhere. And a few of the guards do hear this and start rushing over to this area. The other ones that ran towards the building. Yeah. You kind of start booking it. Which direction are you booking it?
The opposite way that the guards are.
Okay. So you start heading in that direction. They start coming after you. The ones that were going back towards the precinct do continue to go. And because not all of them left the fire area. There's about 3 left over. As about 4 of them headed back towards the precinct.
Quick question. I'm sorry. How long
yes.
has it been since we started doing this?
In game time?
Yeah.
It's been about since you guys got set up. It's been about 10 minutes,
okay.
10, 12 minutes.
Cool. So I've got a good amount of time on my disguise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And yeah, so 4 of them are heading towards the precinct. 2 of them are heading towards where they heard the thunder wave. Valerian is looking at the opposite direction. Afris, you are walking down another street with Drezik as he's leading you towards a tavern that he knows of that is open this late.
Is it the opposite way?
It's if this is the precinct. Valerian is down here where the fire happened. You were up here originally where Drezik came, and he's leading you this way.
Okay.
So you're not going towards Valerian itself, and but the guards are rushing that way. So as midnight, as you are getting up the stairs and getting towards the gate, and you're kind of searching it for a lock, you hear loud guard footsteps rushing towards the door.
Great. Okay, is there a lock that I can just turn on this side?
Yes, there is just a lock on this side of the gate that you can just turn, but it's about 6 feet away or 10 feet away from the front door itself, where they're about to crash inwards.
Okay. Where are the stairs upwards?
There's no stairs upwards. There's the fishbowl area, and then you heard Valerian tell you that there is an upper floor that's past one of the doors in the back. That where he got led to Lieutenant Ember's office.
Was there a back door if I went during my search?
No. There's the back window, but that's also barred.
Yeah. And I don't suppose moving the window would open the bars.
No. The bars are set in kind of this like box around the window, so you can open up the window and have fresh air, but it's still closed off by the bars.
I'm going to...
The steps are real close to the door at this point.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit tough. I'm going to go ahead and try and hide back in the fishbowl area again.
Remember the TikTok.
Remember the what?
Sorry, what was it?
I said, remember the TikTok. I sent you.
I know.
Remember. As a very last resort.
Make a stealth check for me.
16?
Okay. You like hear the footsteps. You hear them coming up the stairs, like shit, and you book it back to the fishbowl area. Climb, get up the stairs real quick, find a place, and just you slide into a hiding place right as the doors open up, and you hear 4 people come into the building. They unlock the gate, move in, and start kind of like spreading out through the lower area. You hear one person going downstairs towards the where you came from, the lockup, and the other 3 continue to search. And they are moving around the building. Is there anything you want to do while they're searching?
There's no flames here, so I can't do that. I'm going to...
They did turn on the they did turn on the lights in the building, so the electricity's on.
But no flames, right?
No flames.
All right. I'm going to point towards the door, like the door that goes upstairs. It's on this side, right?
Well, there's 2. There's basically there's like if you're looking at the room, there's.
I'm sorry, I'm not very good with.
I'm
sorry, I'm very
no,
not good with
spatial stuff. Yeah,
spatial
that's fine.
Stuff, yeah.
So if you're looking at, you're in the fishbowl and you're looking towards the front door where they just crashed inwards, and there's basically a door on your right and left, and then further down there's a door on your right and left. And by Valerian's description, the door on your left now, from where you're looking, closest to you, is where Lieutenant Ember led him, and then there were staircases past that door.
Okay.
I did draw him rough map based off my sketch, or like my thought on it.
But
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to use thaumaturgy to make a sound of like someone stumbling, or some kind of loud sound from someone stumbling, something like that, from that door.
Okay. So you kind of point. If you want to do it subtly, I will have you do a sleight of hand.
Okay. That's a 9.
Okay. So you kind of point out and do your thaumaturgy, and the sound happens, and a couple of them look towards the door, but one of them does look up towards where you are. You freeze! and they point at you, and like one of them kind of moves over towards the door, towards where that is. They heard the sound, but then two of them start moving towards the fishbowl, towards you. You want to do anything?
Are they spreading out?
Two of them are kind of converging on the stairway that leads up to the fishbowl, and then the one of the other ones is moving towards the door that you did the thaumaturgy on.
Okay.
And you are currently in your elf persona?
Yes.
Correct? Okay.
So, like, I'm hoping that they will spread out around the fishbowl to, like, try and corner me.
So yeah, they unless you do anything, they move up the stairs, get into like open the doorway, and essentially you're looking at them on the opposite side of the conference room. They're on the opposite side of the table from you, and they're kind of on either side of it, about to like move around on either side of it to you. So you're kind of blocked at the moment, pathway wise.
So what I'm gonna do is leap over the table and try and like disengage, run through them once they spread out.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you disengage, jump over the table, it kind of like dash across it, and then jump to the other side. They try to kind of trying to grab it. He's like, "Freeze! Stay where you are!" And you book it through. Are you running out the building?
Yes, I'm bonus action dashing.
Okay. As you are running out the building, you're getting close to the end, and you do hear kind of a "Stay where you are!" And you hear like a kind of a twang of a crossbow bolt. Does a 17 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. And so you take a solid bolt into the back of your calf, and you take 12 points of piercing damage.
Jeez.
As it just sinks into you. It's a heavy crossbow, D10. Sinks into your leg. You kind of stumble, but you're still able to move, and you book it out the door. Which way are you going?
I'm going to look for an alleyway of some sort.
Right, make a perception check, and then if you want, you can make a stealth check.
12 plus that's 15 total for the perception.
Okay. And you see an alleyway that seems to be like where you can get to that might allow you to get away. You kind of pick the one, and you book towards it, beeline it.
All right. The stealth check is 25.
Okay. Yeah.
18
you're
plus
able
7,
to get out,
right?
and yep. You dash into it, and you're kind of like limping from the bolt in your leg, but you're able to get out and away as quickly as you can and hide. A few seconds later, the guards come crashing out of the building looking for you, and then one of them closes the door, locks it, and stands guard, and the other two spread out, blowing their whistles, calling for more guards.
Right.
And you are able to kind of like stealth out of there just in time to get away from them, but they are definitely out looking for you right now.
Yeah, I'm going to, if I have the time, I'm going to try my best not to scream and pull out the bolt.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
All right, that's not great. You know what? No, I'm going to leave it in because it's going to bleed less that way.
Okay.
But I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just try and leave.
Okay.
And, well, I will take a potion. Take a potion.
Okay.
And bonus action dash after that. I'm sorry, I had like 3 things that I was thinking of doing. Potion is 2d4 plus 2. Five, 7 hit point gain back, and I am back to half health.
Okay. And you book it away from there, and are you heading straight to the inn, or are you going somewhere else?
No, I'm going to like go somewhere where it's less locked down,
Okay.
and then drop my disguise.
Okay. You drop your disguise and kind of get in a better position. After you get to the kind of like this darker like dive bar type of area, and when you get inside, there's actually a number of you see a couple people look up at you, and a number of them look more like the monstrous races. There you see a tabaxi there, you see an actual like a half orc, and a few goblins at the bar, and the bartender himself is a turtle. Is a very large, dark skinned turtle with kind of these like golden looking pattern like triangles along his neck. And he kind of looks over at you kind of suspiciously. He got a dark shell with a number of interesting designs that some seem natural, some to be like almost like painted or chiseled in. It's all interesting. And he's kind of sitting there hunched over, kind of digging a cloth into a glass, and he kind of sees you with Drezig. Detective. Justice, how you doing? Drink? Yeah, one for me, and yeah, she'll take the same.
And I'll pay
down.
him for both of them.
Yeah. Kind of moves over, and you see, as he moves, you hear this. As he's moving, you kind of like see, you kind of quick, since you're tall enough, you kind of look by the bar, and he actually has a peg leg. Essentially, it's like a wooden prosthetic leg that he has. That's not. It doesn't like move with him, but it's enough that he can stand on it. And he moves around, and he gets the drinks out and pours it in the glass, and then hands it over to you. And it's a pretty strong whiskey that he hands over to both you and Drezig. And he kind of sits there and looks you over real quick, and then as he kind of looks around a little bit, he's like, "So, what did the Black Lanterns hire you to do?" As he looks you right in the eyes. And as that shock kind of hits you real quick,
fuck me.
we're gonna call it for that.
Oh no!
We're gonna call it for tonight.
I cannot lie. I don't have the skill for that.
No.
So we've got Midnight injured on the run. We've got Valerian disguised and on the run, and we've got Avarice getting confronted by the detective.
Oh fuck. I mean, not surprising, honestly. I feel like I was very obviously suspicious.
I basically needed to get to a place where it wasn't so hot before I could take that bolt out.
Yeah.
Then I was planning on using clothes to dampen it.
But you got the book now.
Yeah.
At the very least. And something else that you're not sure what the dagger is. So. Yeah.
I hope that dagger isn't cursed.
That
was my first thought, since it was next to a decrepit hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you
I
should
literally.
have cut your.
I should have what?
You should have cut off your hand and attached the decrepit hand to yours.
Listen, I am not our.
They have the hand of Vecna just in the evidence lockup at this random town police station.
I can just smash the glass.
I have enough problems with evil entities. I don't need Vecna added to the mix.
I can't believe you just smashed the glass. I'm sorry.
He said there was no way to open it. Or
I could have tried to lift it.
So I just said there was no door handle.
Oh,
you could have tried to do this.
To be honest, all it was literally one of those, and you like press it and it opens up.
Oh.
That's all it was.
Well, the investigation should have told me that. So.
you're investigating specifically for traps. You were
True.
not investigating on how to open it, and so
You said no door
I mean,
handles,
like,
and I'm like, okay,
the
so
most
this.
obvious thief in the world, just like crowbarring it up.
she's still learning, dude. She's still learning. It's the
Level
you need to
3.
read Six
Level
of Crows, okay?
Level
You need
4
to
technically.
study up on cats, okay? For your heists.
But, yeah.
I have the book right here.
Also, I realized afterwards I have ball bearings, and I totally could have used that to help me escape.
I even have the
Six of
special
Crows.
edition, okay?
okay.
You need to read this.
What is that about?
It's about a heist.
Listen, I'm
Okay,
playing a
and then-
character that's kind of outside my comfort zone, so.
The second book.
Okay.
There's also some stuff in there that you should know about. You need to read this as well.
Those look freaking big.
I
They
mean,
look
kind
awesome.
of, yeah. They are.
Yeah.
Alright,
It's just 2 books. I just have 2 of each.
Those
Alright.
gorgeous fucking books.
let's wrap this stream
Right?
up, I guess.
Yeah. We'll come back. See what it is next week. We're gonna check. So yeah, I should be good for next week, the 18th. But then obviously the next Friday is gonna be a nada because it is Christmas.
Yeah,
And it depends on what people are doing New Year's Day if we want to do that one. So.
Okay.
wow.
So, I will see you guys all next week.
Yes, let's get ourselves out of this trouble.
I think I'm going to raid
see.
for once.
Go for it.
We're rating String 4-star. Alright. And there it goes.
Is that Team 4 Stars
Yep.
playing their D&D game? Nice.
Not their D&D game, but
I think they're streaming.
Just as...